right, good morning everybody. So this morning, it's a new day. What I'm gonna start on this morning is I went ahead and I cleaned up all the boxes, and I did move the boxes to some areas where I had some grass and weeds peeping through. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay some contractor's paper, and then I'm gonna put some hay on top of it, and I'm just gonna let it rest because it's just too hot to really plant anything this time of year here in South Mississippi. So I'm just gonna kind of cover the ground and try to get the weeds and the grass to stop growing in this area. I am going to go ahead and plant some pumpkins on my trellis because I would like for those to be done before the fall season. So I'd like to try that out. I understand that, you know, this time of year there is a lot of squash bug, pest pressure and things like that, but I'm coming up with a good routine for eliminating that as best as possible. I know it's not going to be 100% because it's just this time of year, but I'm hoping that I can, you know, work on keeping it at bay as best I can until it cools off a little bit in the next couple months. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I've started. Tractor's paper. Now, in an ideal world, I would have liked to just use boxes because, you know, boxes are free. But this cost me $11 for the roll, and it's just going to be a lot easier since I have such a big area to cover. You'll see up there, I moved the boxes that I had, and I kind of just set them in the areas and the walkways where I had, you know, where I pulled out some plants. You'll see there's some grass growing through over there, and I'm not going to kill myself sitting here trying to pull all that grass. I started to, and I said, why are you doing this? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, and I bought this roll of hay. And I'm gonna just cover it up, and I'm gonna try the whole Ruth Stout method of when you see weeds and grass, just cover it up, just keep covering it. So we'll try that. It may work, it may not, I don't know, but it's an experiment and we'll see, and I'll take you along the way. So here we are. Well, the boys like running on the paper at least. Is it your runway, Elliot? Meanwhile, Liam's hunting for frogs. Got the hay laid nice and evenly. It took me several hours yesterday to work on that. And what I've done is, ideally, in an ideal world, I would be planting my pumpkins straight into the ground. But I'm letting this ground rest until a couple months from now when I start my fall garden. But I really want to get my pumpkins going. So what I've done is I've just gotten some composted manure, soil mixture, and I've made some little hills on these trellises here, and my pumpkins are going to go straight into there. I've got some polar bear pumpkins and just some classic jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. I'm going to trellis them up, but I'm also, in about a month and a half, I'm going to plant some corn here and here. And so the pumpkins will start trellising up, but when it gets to a point where they're wanting to go wild, I'm just going to let them go wild between the corn. So that's the idea here of what I'm doing. I did get some extra compost and manure, and I'm going to put it over in that hay bed and put in some more sweet potato slips that I've been growing off of a couple sweet potatoes that I got. So far we've got some white sweet potatoes over there and some purple sweet potatoes. Now I'm just going to put in some classic, I don't know the technical name for them, but just good old school orange ones. You can kind of see they're in that bed over there behind the hay bale between the pool. Here you'll see that I planted a Ruth Stout sweet potato bed. And what I did is I just put the hay straight on the grass. I wasn't fooling with tilling over here, any of that kind of stuff. So I just put the hay straight down so it'll kill the grass over time. I ran some channels and put down some composted dirt and manure, and I just planted my sweet potato slips in here probably about 3 to 4 weeks ago, and they are doing fabulous. They've really taken off pretty quick. And so these are all purple sweet potatoes that I've got in here now, but you'll see I still have some space. So I just dug 2 little channels right here, and I'm going to go ahead and proceed with putting in some compost and dirt just to kind of get it going. And in the future, what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to just dig straight down to the dirt that's already there that will have composted and not have to worry about adding to it. I'll just maybe add a little fertilizer or something of that nature. So here we are. So here I'm getting the pumpkins in the ground. I'm just putting them about a foot apart. It gives them a chance to kind of grow up the entire trellis. It may be a little overcrowded in the end, but we'll see. Sometimes they die off, sometimes they don't. Now I'm getting the sweet potato slips in the ground. It's always fun when you have little kids in the garden with you. Sometimes they help you. Sometimes they just run around and make you laugh. It's a nice distraction whenever you're out here. Of course, the dogs can always be a little crazy too. Always trying to tease the goats or tease the chickens. And I'm just putting these sweet potato slips right in the little bit of channel of dirt that I put in the hay. And I'm putting them roughly about 1.5 feet, almost 2 feet apart. That way they have enough room to grow the potatoes in there as well. And finally here you'll see our finished product. Thank you for watching. God bless our mess.